Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of WTF. I'm Will.
I'm Trevor.
And today we have a very special guest with us. This is Natasha Weeb with Fix Your Life Solutions. So she'll be here today reviewing the 50 Shades Trilogy with us.
Tell us a little bit about what you do there, Natasha.
Yeah.
I am the whispering coach, so I help couples resolve secret desires, as well as snide remarks that they make to one another.
Will and I make a lot of snide remarks.
Yes, we do.
I know the bromance that you guys have.
Yeah, we do have a pretty good bromance.
All right,
It's kind of a love-hate relationship. Will loves to hate me.
So this book sold 125 million copies worldwide, which
there's 3 books, not just this book.
Can you just stop your interrupting?
Okay, sorry.
Jesus.
We all know that Will doesn't read. I don't read much either, so we haven't read the book. But the first book sold a shitload of copies.
The first book sold 125 million copies, which sparked a trilogy, which would end up being a trilogy. Stars Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan.
Dakota Johnson's the daughter of
Don Johnson and Melanie
Griffith.
And Jamie Dornan, he's been in a bunch of films like the new Robin Hood. He's in the TV show The Fall.
TV show The Fall, which actually was really good. Yep. Season 1 was great.
Yep.
Once Upon a Time.
Also starring in this movie is Marisha Gay Harden, who was in Mystic River and Pollock, was what she also won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
So there's an actual real good actress that's in this film.
Yes.
Shockingly. Hey everyone, we interrupt this regularly scheduled WTF program to bring you a special report.
That's right, we're here to ask for your help in voting for our Story Hive pitch. Now, you may be wondering what Story Hive is. They are a company that helps promote independent and aspiring filmmakers.
That's just like us. That's what we do.
That's us. By giving them $50,000 to make their documentary.
So TELUS has donated $50,000 grants to Storyhive to their documentary series, and that's what we put together as a pitch called Sharing the Love.
That's right. So voting starts May 28th at noon and runs right to May 31st at noon. So only 4 days. Not very long, 4 days.
Yeah. So we're asking for your help to vote on those 4 days.
Yes.
So just below in the description, there's a link to the Storyhive Sharing the Love pitch, and that's where you can go vote for us.
Yeah, so click on the link, vote for us, and look for Sharing Love.
Thanks a lot. We now return to your regularly scheduled program.
Goodbye.
Jamie Dornan wasn't the original person that was cast for this film. It was the guy from Sons of Anarchy. What's his name?
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam. Girls like him.
Yes. That's what I'm going to say to that. The interesting part actually about that, because when I first heard about the switch, I was not a fan. I like Jamie, but at the same time, I thought he was a little bit too, not meek, but it wasn't the physique that I was imagining when I was reading the books.
So as a woman who's read the books, who enjoyed the books, you probably had in mind who you thought this character was.
Yes, definitely a different dynamic. And so, but what I do like actually, after seeing all 3, what I like about it is that the power dynamics within it's nice because every different body type and every different person can play with these.
So if we were to describe 50 Shades, the trilogy, in one sentence, how would we describe it, do you think?
I think that's one like that.
I would say that it is about exploring power dynamics within a relationship.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds fun to me, yep.
So, so the first time I saw 50 Shades of Grey, I think, how many years ago was it? Like 4 years ago?
No, it was 6 years ago.
Was it? Okay, so I think it came out around Valentine's Day.
It was like 2012 or 2013, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think you're right.
I thought they came out 3 in a row, where it was 2016, 2017.
No, there was
the first one came out, and then the second
was a 2-year
came out
gap.
like 2 or 3 years after.
Yeah. And then there was only a 1-year gap between the second and third.
Yeah, but so the first one came out, and there was like all this hype for it. And I actually ended up going to it on Valentine's Day with my girlfriend. And here's my perception of this film. I remember it started, I was like, yeah, okay, we're getting into it. And there's this one scene where, make sure you bleep out the swear words, Bill, where this girl's like, I want you to make to me. And the guy says, I don't make, I fuck. And this was supposed to be like a serious scene in the movie, and people in the theater started laughing because it was laughable. So right there, that kind of explained to me that I think that the filmmakers got the tone wrong of where they were going with this film, personally, or maybe they just miscast the leads, in my personal opinion. Do you remember watching the film?
Yeah.
You were supposed to make fun of me because I actually saw the movie in the theater.
You've just made fun of yourself by mentioning you watched the movie in the theater. Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan are actually good actors. I think it was a very poor screen adaptation from the book. I think it was very poorly written for the screen. I think it could have done a lot better writing. Maybe
Fluffy?
Yeah.
There were a lot of heavy themes within the book that were amazing from a psychological perspective. Absolutely incredible. The chemistry between the two lead actors is not what I resonated with. They did not have the chemistry needed for that type of scene.
So I remember watching the first film, and then I had no intention of watching the second or the third film. I actually didn't even realize the third film we could actually watch it. I did watch the second movie, but some of it I might have watched a little bit and fast forward. And then in the third movie, same sort of thing. And I tried to give it a little bit of a chance, but it's really bad.
Fucking terrible. Okay.
Is there anything good you can say about the film?
Yeah.
Or the films?
I got to see Dakota Johnson's boobs and her ass. That was pretty hot. I enjoyed that.
Yes, if you want to see her naked, watch any one of these movies because she's naked throughout this movie.
Except that you don't actually get the lower half of either person.
Well, you get her butt.
You do get Jamie's butt too.
You see the odd pube.
What I really loved about it, and especially from life coach perspective, from the psychology aspects of it, exploring power dynamics, it gave so many relationships, and especially women who are reading the book, to explore. What I absolutely loved was even in 50 Shades Freed, where he put these chained restraints on her, and he said, "Don't pull, these bite." So that was where the permission came in. And that also being said in the variety.
So where the permission came in, is that what you said?
Permission in exploring that.
Right,
that
in sharing their relationship.
Yeah,
and what they're allowed to do.
And when they went through like the contract.
Right.
The contract at the beginning. So people in, well, that should be a discussion in any relationships. What do you really want to try?
Yeah.
What are you open to exploring? What's a no-go?
Yeah. Communication is key, and making sure you set up the rules, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it gave so many people the freedom to question what they actually wanted to try and explore the sexuality.
So did you read all 3 books?
I did. Yep.
And and did you get obviously you probably got more to the books than the movie, but so what did the books make you think or feel after you read them?
I absolutely loved the books. Again, for me, it was all about the psychology. It's very, very rare that you will see a book or a movie showcase male sexual assault. And that was the theme behind this. Yes, it came out that he was, and this is why the BDSM community does not like it, because it shows BDSM as being controlling or as being only abused people like BDSM, which is not true. It's completely false. So it showed that dynamic, and it also showed him being a switch. So a switch is someone who will either be dominant in one part and then submissive in another. He went on his knees, like she was leaving, and he's like, no, he's like, I'm here. And he actually goes into the submissive pose because he's showing her that she's important and he doesn't want to just control her.
Giving her the power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, well, hey. Somebody read it and understands what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. 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 Any thoughts there, Will?
No.
Well, and that's where, the 3 trilogies, well, I don't really like how the movies were, because I watched the first 2 when they came out.
Yeah.
And I only watched the third one recently, but that one was my favorite because, the
third one was your favorite?
Yeah, because it really explains the story behind
Not just because she had a little bit more power in this one?
I mean,
might have had something to do with it.
Where it's that shift, it's that healing.
Yeah.
It also goes into how when he spoiler alert. So
just in case you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. So when she announced that she was pregnant,
what?
And how
all this sex, somebody finally got pregnant. Wow.
And so when she announced that, and his line on, "Do you think I'm ready to be a father?" Well, that shows insecurity because of all the issues of what he experienced when he was raised as a child and going into foster homes. And that's another aspect that I love that they brought up was foster care system and how 2 people can grow up, but when they make different choices. Because Jack Hyde, her boss, when they were both living in the same foster home, and yes, Christian Grey got adopted by these wealthy parents. And she says, yes, you had some advantages, but it's because of your heart, it's because of your character, it's because that you care of what you created. So she brings it back to, you can be going through any situation, you may get the shit end of the stick, but it's how you handle it and it's how you react that is going to make the difference.
But the rich family probably helps a lot too.
Well, yes, but he could still be a shithead, even with a rich family. He didn't have to change.
Yeah, but the
He
reason
didn't
the
have to
boss
start
was
from-
so pissed off because he got adopted into a poor family. Didn't have the same advantages.
But that's the thing. The boss was in a very successful position at an editing company, and he chose to use power in order to make sex tapes of his employees so he could hold it over him.
Yeah, just well, getting back to kind of the movie side of it, I felt like the other thing that while I was watching it, like the whole bad guy thing was just so cheesy and horrible. Like it was like you weren't really invested in any of the characters, and could care less who the bad guy was. It was just like. It was like, okay, here's a story. We have two hot people. They're going to have sex a lot. They're going to get naked a lot. Okay, let's put them in some turmoil. Let's make a movie. And hey, we're going to make $100 million. Perfect. So there were some other parts that you wanted to point out about the movie you wrote.
Yes. So other key factors between, there's a lot of confusion on who has the actual control in a dominant and submissive relationship. There's a lot of people who assume that the more dominant one has all of the control. But the truth is that the submissive has all the control in a relationship like that, because as soon as they use the safe word, everything stops. And that's why it's important to have a safe word. There's also a very key difference between, consent as well as sexual assault. So that's one reason why I also like how they incorporated the scene where Jack Hyde pushes her against the wall and he's like, oh, you like it rough. And there's a difference between doing it with a partner who you feel safe and you trust versus a stranger who you absolutely don't want to. Mm-hmm. So I really loved how they included that line in there, because there is a difference, and just because you do like it rough does not mean that a person actually desires. Like, even if someone has a rape fantasy, it does not mean that they actually want to be raped.
Right. So do you think that the people that have these certain fantasies or whatever, where do you think these come from? Is it just from the way you're brought up, the way you're treated by your parents, past relationships, or just all of the above?
Part of it can be through that, but part of it can just be a natural curiosity. Typically, speaking from women's perspective, women who are very, very dominant sometimes like to be more submissive in the bedroom because they're so used to playing that role. And that's where, like, even with coaching, one of the aspects I teach on is about all the different roles that we play. So it can be very fun to play something that seems out of character for you. And I think that's also what a lot of actors and actresses like in taking on different roles. People who typically like working in comedy, but then they want to do a serious or a drama or...
Take on a whole different persona.
Yeah.
Okay, so we decided to rate this amazing trilogy on whips today. And this amazing trilogy gets two whips. And only because there was nudity. Because otherwise, it's all garbage. What do you give it? What do you rate it?
I would do 6.5 whips out of 10. If it was based just on psychology, definitely higher. Could have been communicated better. Could have had different actors and actresses, and definitely the chemistry needed to be better.
Yeah, I'll give it three whips. 3 solid slashings of a whip.
Take a page out of my book.
Thank
3
you.
solid. It's a solid
That's
3.
right. So, yeah, your book. It's all about the solid book there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Natasha, for sharing your thoughts on this film, as well as your insight on this topic. Did you want to talk about the other project that we're working on together?
Yes. So, Sharing the Love is a documentary pitch that the 3 of us are doing, and how we got connected in how to destigmatize alternative relationships and fantasies, which is why we thought this would be the perfect film to review and discuss. So thank you for also having me on your show.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was very fun. It was a lot of fun. All right, everyone, thanks again for tuning in to another
WTF!
I haven't even said episode yet.
Oh, I got excited.
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of WTF. And we will see you next time.